Andrew Tate, poser. He's a misogynist asshole poser. You know, you got these guys out there who are like, "Oh, I'm so big. Let me tell you how to treat women, how what to do." And it's like, okay, so you were pretty good at beating people up. That's who you are. Great. And you're so rich and so powerful. You live in a shithole in Romania. Gotcha. Yeah, but I'm woke. I'm red pilled, man. I'm so red pilled. I've met a lot of red pilled people, and I've met people that are real men. You're not one of them. I got Green Berets on my security detail. I got all kinds of people that are quiet professionals who have been through things very few humans could endure and survive. And they don't make a deal out of it and don't talk about it. They just do their job, and they have a quiet confidence about them. You see, that's how you know somebody's a real person or not. There's a lot of people out in the world, they just love talking, and they tell you how great they are and what they've achieved and what they've accomplished. And they're almost looking for validation from you. The really dangerous people in life, the people you got to watch out for, the people that are going to kick your ass in business, in life, are the people, they don't talk about it. They just look at you with a little smile on their face, and there's a lot of depth there, and they're not going to show their hands. And if you carry that level of quiet professionalism, I wish I did, and into every aspect of your life, odds are that you get along very well. It doesn't mean you can't talk about things you've done, but it means that you do it when there's a point, purpose, or a context behind it that's appropriate. It's a teachable moment. It's a story to inspire. It's something to mentor or to lighten a current situation, to show some vulnerability so that you can build trust and rapport. And then you can actually then, with that trust, leverage a relationship. But it's not there to show your status above someone else. And the problem with guys like Tate is they create an industry around taking vulnerable people who are just not where they need to be in life and trying to broadcast this false machismo and confidence. You also see it with Dan Bilzerian. And they say, "Oh, look at us. Look how great we are. Look at all the things we've accomplished. Look at all the things we've done." Okay. And do you really want to emulate that lifestyle? No. But the fantasy of it is what attracts people, and it allows them to build a fan base, and they come through. But there's no character building there. There's no integrity building there. There's no calmness and peace there. There's no inner power there. The strongest people I've met, you can't kill them. You can destroy their bodies, but they're undefeatable. They're absolutely indestructible people. You can take everything from them. You can put them in a death camp. You can torture them. They'll come out a year later and completely rebuild everything from the ground up. That kind of attitude, that mentality, that stoicism, that internal integrity, that calm confidence and self-assuredness, that's the kind of stuff that's rare. And there's no silver bullet for it. We were handed the techniques to do these things from people who died not yesterday, but thousands of years ago, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. And they've been refined and grown and matured, and they've been integrated into various faith traditions. But their tools are there. The mindfulness, the Stoic practices, the logotherapy is a good modernization of a lot of these techniques. That's what Viktor Frankl developed. No coincidence he developed it after leaving a concentration camp. They killed his wife and kids, and he didn't let them break them, and he took that with him. But it's hard. It takes years, and you're not compensated for it, and it's not incentivized, and society doesn't take care of you. Instead, they criticize you. And what you'll notice is you're on the right track when the media says you're on the wrong track. So if you go to any of these woke shops and you Google, stoicism, they'll say, "Oh, it's a dead philosophy made by slaves 2,000 years ago in another place." Like, bingo. They hate it because they're scared of it. Because if people were stoic, there would be zero need for the garbage philosophy they're cramming on society. That's the true red pill right there. And that's what, when I started adopting that, gave me so much success in life. And it gives me the ability to get out there into the arena. And every time I've slipped and I've lashed out at people, it's really never helped me, ever. If I was stoic about the XRP thing, we'd still all be friends. I wasn't. I took it personally. I shouldn't have. is what it is. It's a lesson, and you just move forward. Tate is the antithesis, as is Bilzerian or any of these others, of that philosophy. They're not connected to it, and they never truly will grow beyond a very rudimentary level in society. The other thing is I believe men and women are partners. We're interdependent with each other, and we have to work together and get along. And this concept of one being above the other in any direction is incredibly damaging. This fourth wave feminism or this traditionalist women should be in the kitchen thing, they're both wrong. They're partners and they're interdependent and they have to work together. And if you just learn how to communicate, this John Gottman talks a lot about this whole idea of a tune, where you have this idea of a bid, the minimum unit of human communication, and you're aware that they exist and you turn towards them and you're tolerant of them and you understand where people are coming from and you don't get defensive about it and you have empathy for their position. If we had that capacity, almost always we'd actually have good communication, good trust, and good relationships with each other. If we focused on that, everybody would just really get along, except for the crazy people they have something wrong, like they're psychopaths and sociopaths. That's another skill set to develop, how to set boundaries. Once you've made the effort to communicate well with people and you live a life of integrity and you have that calm professionalism and confidence in that life, then the people you invite into your life, you set boundaries with them and you see if they respect them or they don't. If they don't respect the boundaries, then you get rid of them. You kick them out of your life. If they do respect the boundaries, then you'll notice that over time, everybody is very happy. And it can just be as simple as I see that person at the bar every week, to as complicated as we went to Paraguay together and got into a lot of trouble and nearly died, and, have a hell of a story to tell. It's a very wide range, but they're built on the same foundations. You notice people like Tate and Bilzerian, they don't do that. They show you the Lamborghini or the Bugatti. They show you the private jet, which, by the way, they don't own. I do. But I don't take pictures of it, post them on Twitter. They show you all the women that they rent out and say, oh, look how happy I am. No, they don't like you. They're not there. Come on now. And they say, well, you can be like me. Oh, God, no. Who would want to go down that road? Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I think about COVID, about medicine, about the woke stuff, stoicism, about the posers, the real people. You want to know who's real? Lex Friedman is real. He's one of the realest guys I've ever met in my life. He is an intellectually curious person, and he lives it with his heart on his sleeve and legitimately just wants to listen to people and talk to people and connect with people and understand the world around him without judgment and truly understand why people behave the way that they behave and do the things the way they do. He has a PhD in artificial intelligence. You'd never know it. He taught at MIT. You'd never know it. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's a super tough guy. You'd never know it because it's not what drives him. Those are fun things he did, and they're part of his curiosity and his pursuit of internal perfection, but they were enablers for him to carry out his life mission. All you'd really know about him is he says, the following is a podcast with. That's a real guy. And if a lot more people were like that, the world would be a much better place because we'd all understand each other. At the end of the day, all of you listening, if you pull your wealth out, your prestige out, your credentials out, the things you've accomplished in life, I'd argue the most fundamental things you want are to be listened to, loved, and cared about by somebody and yourself. And oftentimes, almost all the things we start accumulating in life, we do so as band-aids because there's the absence of those things. It's why some of the happiest people in the world, and I've met them, have nothing. I was in Ethiopia years ago, and I visited a coffee plantation outside of Addis Ababa, and I saw this smallholder farmer and his wife and his 4 kids, and they were just all smiles. They lived on less than a hectare of land, probably made less than $5 a day when you translate everything out, maybe even 3. I've never seen such happy people. Life is good. Why? Because they had love and they cared about each other and took care of each other, and they had built a good life. They don't need a Lamborghini to be happy. Anyway, as Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the story. Thank you so much for listening. It's always good to do these AMAs. I'm sorry I haven't been able to do them recently, but it's good to be back. We're going to have a fun 2023. Cheers.